Well, hello, and welcome to Minecraft Dad with me, Paul McJay. Welcome to a new command block tutorial. Now, in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to create a supervillain with the power of commands. Now, we've got lots of cool powers in display, but we also have these particular powers, which are quite cool. These are Jedi powers, or Sith powers. So, Force Push. We've got a Force Pull.
You were born what the feet would bring.
And a Force Choke. We've also got cool other powers like a missile system.
Least of all, you.
And we've also got heat vision, or laser vision. Right, so before we get into all that, we need to go into our settings and make sure the following are on. So we're going to activate cheats and also command blocks enabled. And we're also going to need Education Edition switched on, but I'll get into that later. Now, open your chat up. We're going to put the following commands in. So we need give ourselves a command block. So to do that, it's /give@player command _ block. And we're also going to need a structure block in this build. So if you don't know how to do that, /give@player structure _ block, like so. Now we're also going to need to put the following in if you want all the output for the command blocks to stop running on the left hand side of the screen. So this is simply going to be game mode or game rule, command, block, output, and false. One more other thing that we need to put into our chat. If you're going to be going quite far away from your command blocks, we're also going to need a ticket area setup. So /ticket area add circle. Now we're going to put 3 tildes in, and I'm going to put 4 then. Now this whole system works off tags. Now usually you can just add a tag to your player in the chat by doing /tag add. Now I've already got one set up called evil, which is what this works off. Now when I give myself the evil tag, all my powers are activated, and you can switch it off. Tag remove evil. There we are, my powers are deactivated. Now just for sake of simplicity, I've put these 2 commands into command blocks connected up with this piston. So as you see, if I pull this lever, my powers are activated, and I turn that lever off and the powers are deactivated. So the piston is going into that red block, into that redstone block, and it's going into this impulse command set to needs redstone, and simply in there it's /tag@evil, and to remove the tag it's just the opposite of that, another impulse command, and it removes the evil. So I'm going to go into the first of my powers here now. Now I'm going to start very simple. So this is going to be my super sword. So it's a repeat command block set to always active. What we're doing is putting this command in, so /effect@tag = evil as item = diamond _ location slot weapon .main hand strength. So what it's doing is searching for a diamond sword in your main weapon hand and giving it 10 strength. So let's put my powers on and let's spawn in an enemy. We've got a piglin brute. Now Dinosaurs are quite strong, but this will just kill it with one stroke. Pretty much will kill any enemy with one hit. So that is proper super. So let's turn that off. Now it's going to go into my secondary set of powers. So the first one is a sort of gliding sort of power. So if you jump, you sort of glide back to the floor. So that's repeat always active. So its effect at a tag equals evil, slow underscore falling 1 1 true. So basically, I switch this on. I jump or go high. As you can see, we sort of slowly float or glide to the floor. Pretty cool effect. So if you really jump really high or fly so that you don't kill yourself. So the second is going to be a chain, unconditional, always active. And this is going to be effect at tag equals strength 1 5 true. So this is going to give me 5 strength. So we killed him in 3 punches. That's quite cool. So the next one is chain, always active, unconditional. So this is resistance. So effect that tag equals evil, resistance 1 5 true. Chain, always active. This is health boost. So we're setting that to 1 and to 9. Again, chain always active. So this is saturation. So this is how fast your hunger sort of restores itself, and that's also it ties into your regeneration. Chain always active, and this is the regeneration, set to 1 and 3. And the next one, so this is speed, so this is going to give you super speed. It's quite cool. And the last one in this chain here is jump boost. Now I've set this to 10, it gives you a really cool sort of fast super jump. And then we use the glide and down, which is quite cool. So that way you don't hurt yourself when you're in survival. And to be fair, it also looks pretty cool as well. So our next power is going to be our, it's going into our sort of Sith Lord type powers. This is going to be our push, or our force push command. So if I switch this on, let's spawn an enemy, and we'll just drop the button there, and it pushes our little enemy miles away. So that's quite cool. Let's do that one more time. Bye! Boom. Alright, now he's dead. So let's show you the commands for this. We've got a payload button here. This will become important in a minute. So repeat, always active. Now this is going to use a test block command, so it's testing for the evil tag. And it's then going to test for a pale oak button in your main hand. So if it detects you, it's going to set this comparator off, set the piston off, move that redstone block into this impulse block here. So impulse needs redstone. And then what this is going to do is execute at evil, at self, entity, at tag. If you've got then the payload button in your hand, it's going to run the title on the action bar, which is push. So as you can see, when we select the button, a display called pushes on the screen. So this next one is going to replace the button on the hotbar. It's going to, so basically it's going to keep the rest. It's going to keep this pale oak button. This will make sense later on. So if you don't have a pale oak button, it's going to replace it in that slot on your hotbar. So the next one is chain conditional always active. So this is execute at tag equals evil at self positioned. And then we're using the carrot system, which is the camera, and we're going to run at tag evil with a radius of 6. And then a carrot, 5 on the y coordinate, and 20 on the z coordinate for the carrot. So basically what that's going to do, it's going to teleport any players within that range away from you to that second set of coordinates. And then chain always active, unconditional. This is going to execute at the tag equal, we will kill the entity pale oak button. So when you're basically dropping the pale oak button, it's going to kill that, and then the other command at the top is going to replace it back in the hotbar. Oof, it sounds complicated, but it's not that complicated. It's more complicated than it sounds. So our next one is our sort of summon command, or if we're using Sith parlance, it's going to be push. So, or pull, sorry. But we're going to call it summon here. So let's get a piglin brute, and we're going to pull him towards us, or summon him towards us. Oh, let's get away. There we are. This works. We're in a certain distance away, so you can pull enemies towards you, kill them, whatever item you have to hand, or you can push them away again, like that, which is quite cool. Let's kill him. Right, so let's get into the commands for this. So yet again, a repeat and always active command block. So this is going to test the evil tag, and it's going to test for a mangrove button this time in your main weapon hand. And then if you have that in your hand, it's going to set that comparator of that piston into that redstone block and into this impulse block. And then that is going to be executing that title prompt on your screen saying summon. So execute at tag equals evil at self if entity at tag equals has item mangrove button in the main slot weapon hand run title. So this is the next bit. So it's quite similar to the other bits, previous commands. So repeat, an additional always active, but instead this time it's going to be the mangrove button that we're keeping in the hotbar 7. So when we get rid of the button, it's going to replace it straight back into slot 7 on your hotbar on your screen. So this is the executes command there for summoning the enemy to you. So it's going to search for enemies that distance away on your camera, and then it's going to teleport the entity to yourself, which is quite cool. So it's going to run. It's going to teleport any entity that's not evil actually to you with a radius of 12 to you. And then this last one, chain always active. So that's going to kill the mangrove button when you drop it. So this is our levitate or crush section, or In Sith parlance, force choke. So if we summon a Piglin Brute and use our polished Blackstone button here, it's going to float them in the air, and it's going to use a wither effect and slowly drain the character's life force away. So similar sort of setup again. So it's going to repeat, always active, and it's going to test for this time a polished Blackstone button in your main weapon hand. Into the comparator, into the piston, into the redstone block, and then into that impulse command block. And additional use redstone, and it's going to run the text levitation crush on your main screen there, if you're holding a polished Blackstone button in your main hand. So there's a bit more to this one. So repeat and conditional always active. So this is going to replace the polished Blackstone button back into your hotbar, and this time it's in position 8. Then chain conditional always active. So we're doing something different this time, using the same coordinates as our push, but instead of teleporting any entity, we are going to add the tag crush to any entity that's not evil within a radius of 4. And then chain and conditional always active. So this is going to kill the polished redstone button. So when we've got our tag choke, this is what's going to happen. So we've got repeat always active. So this is an effect at entity tag equals crush, and it's going to use the levitation effect. 3, 1, true. Then this is going into a chain, conditional always active. And then it's going to be effect at entity tag equals crush wither. 3, true. So this is adding the wither effect to the entity that's being levitated and crushed. And then finally repeat and conditional always active. It's going to be executed if entity tag equals crush run tag at entity tag equals crush remove crush. So it's going to remove the crush tag from the entity. Right, so now we move on to the big guns, and the first of these main weapons is going to be our laser or heat vision. So I'm just going to show you how this works. So we've got our crimson button, and as you can see we're building the hell out of everything on this massive structure of redstone blocks. It's really cutting through everything, and as you can see we've got the 2 particles coming from my eyes. So let's just show you the damage that this can cause. As I said, this is a solid block of many redstone blocks, and it's just moved through it all. It's quite powerful. I wouldn't like to be in front of anything, be in front of that laser beam. I'm just going to show you on this building now, so you're just going to be able to clear a look. As you can see, it's absolutely destroying all those stone blocks. I'm always surprised how brutal this thing actually is. So, as you can see, it's gone right through the centre, right through the other side. Right, so I'm just going to go into the commands now. This is a bit more complicated than the previous ones, but it starts off quite familiar. So repeat, always active, unconditional. So this is going to test for the crimson button in your main weapon hand. into a comparator, into that piston, into that redstone block, and then into this impulse block. And as before, it's gonna search for the crimson button in your main slot, in your main hand, and then it's gonna run that title. It's gonna run laser vision. Right. So let's go into this command here. So repeat always active, and this is going to have a delay in 3 ticks. So it's going to be execute at tag equals evil, has the crimson button in your main weapon hand, and it's going to add a summon armor stand called vision at those coordinates, which is sort of going to be behind you on the Z coordinate. So it's going to summon an armor stand called Vision. And chain unconditional always active. So it's going to execute at that armor stand equal vision, that entity equal vision, and it's going to, at self-rotated at tag equals equal, run teleport to those coordinates facing to those coordinates 6. So into this repeat block here, repeat unconditional always active. So this is going to basically turn the armor stand that you've named Vision invisible, so you won't be able to see it. And then into this chain unconditional always active block. So execute at the entity equal vision at self-run particle, so it's going to run an obsidian glow dust particle at those coordinates, which are going to be pretty much above your, at your left eye of your player. So when you change the camera angle, it's going to look like there's a laser beam coming out of your left eye. And this dex chain command block, very similar. But instead, it's not going to be a negative, it's going to be a positive coordinate, and this is going to be your right eye. So this command here, this will kill the armor stand when it gets reaches 80 blocks ahead. Right, let's go back into that again. So this is going to, basically, if you don't have the crimson button in your hand, the key part there is the quantity equals 0, it's going to kill the armor stand in vision. So if you don't have the button in your hand, it's going to kill it and turn your powers off. So this is repeat always active. So this is going to run a fire resistance effect on the armor stand. So we don't want the armor stand to die when we're shooting our heat vision. So chain unconditional always active, and this is going to execute at the armor standing vision within 20 blocks. It's going to run at those coordinates, fire destroy. So away from the armor stand, it's basically going to kill everything at those coordinates. Chain unconditional always active. So execute at vision, run damage. So with a radius of 2, it's going to target anything that's not yourself. That's what exclamation mark in front of it is. So it's kill anything that's not yourself, not the armor stand, not an XP orb. It's going to give 10 damage, and that last part there, entity attack, because evil basically means whatever you're targeting is going to know it's you trying to kill it and attack you. And then the last one here, this is going to be the sound effect of the laser. So it's going to run this play sound mob guardian attack sound, which gives the cool laser effect sound when you're firing your laser vision. So our next weapon system is a bit different to the previous ones. This is our missile system. So It's slightly different to the previous ones, and I'll show you why, because we'll need a structure block in a moment. But if we drop our missile, it's going to shoot that off below, and it sort of follows the camera. So if you're wherever you're looking, your button is going to shoot and cause damage to wherever you go, wherever you're looking, which is quite cool. And as you see, when it destroys, it replaces itself back in your hotbar. I do love the sort of sound effect. Boom. As you see, that's more than 80 blocks away, so it didn't detonate. So it'll self-detonate if it doesn't hit anything within a certain distance, which is quite cool. So the main command here is this, and we've got two comparators running off it, so let's go into it. But before we do so, we're going to need to get our button called missile. So I'm just going to show you how you can just name any button and save it. So I'm just going to go put your structure block down, change the X, Y and Z values to 1, and on the offset change that from -1 to 1, so it creates the boundary box above the command block. And I'm just going to get any old button here now, just to show you how we can do this. So if I just button any old one, yes, jungle will do. So get your button, get an anvil. So this is where you can name it wherever you want. Let's put a jungle button in there, and I'm just gonna name it Ra. That will do. And then you can just drop your button within the boundaries of that structure block. That's what's in there. And then we can save it to whatever you want. So this will become important shortly. So we don't need Ra. Let's get rid of that. So we're going to be repeating, repeat always active. So we're going to test for the entity named missile. So the button I've just saved for this is named missile. And if it's detecting that we've got the missile button, it's going to run the following command. So repeat needs redstone. Or make sure you put a delay in 5 ticks in that first one as well. So it's going to execute at the entity named missile at S rotated at tag equals you will run teleport those coordinates true. So when you've got that and you drop it, it's going to shoot off, it's going to teleport to those positions on those coordinates into a comparator, into a repeater, now into this block with a redstone torch on top, and then into this powered impulse block. So impulse needs redstone. So it's going to execute at the entity named missile with a radius of 15. It's going to run summon TNT minecart to that position. And then chain always active, and then that's going to kill the missile. So it's going to kill the entity named missile. And then this other comparator, this sort of resets the system. So it's going to execute a tag because evil has item cherry button. Quantity 0, so if you don't have a cherry button, this is the button I'm using. Unless entity at entity because the missile is going to run structure load missile. So that's why we saved the button. So essentially, when we haven't got a the entity in our hotbar, it's just going to spawn. It's going to load that structure that we've named missile, which is the button, over our head, and then populate it back in the hotbar. So this is the sort of flame particles for the missile. So execute at tag equals evil Run execute at name equals missile within radius of 5. Run particle Minecraft basic flame underscore particle. So when our button is flying towards the target, it's going to leave a trail of flame particles, which sort of creates the missile sort of effect. So this is our range command. So repeat unconditional always active. So execute at name equals missile RM15, if entity at tag equals evil 70. So basically what this is going to do, if our button gets more than 70 blocks without encountering any targets to kill, it's going to essentially kill itself. And this is what kills it. So chain conditional always active. So when it gets, as I said, 70 blocks away, as it hit anything, it's going to kill itself. So this is detecting if it's detecting an entity to kill. So execute at entity name equals missile radius 12 entity at tag equals. So here, if it's not yourself, not an item, not an XP orb, it's going to summon that TNT minecart to that position. And then it's going to kill the missile. And the chain conditional is active, killing name equals missile. And this is going to be the sound effects for the missile. So repeat unconditional always active. So it's going to test for the entity named missile. Into that comparator. And then an impulse block, needs redstone. And then at that entity it's going to run this play sound firework launch sound. So that piece of whew sound as the missile goes off. So the last ability I'm going to show you is our flying ability. So not only we've got super speed and we've got super jump, we can also fly in survival as well, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to show you how to do this as well. And we can fly quite fast as well with the speed. So pretty cool. You can't. So you've got all the powers that you know, the flying ability that you have in creative mode in survival. So just turn that off. Now this is quite simple compared to all the other things I've showed you. So we just got our little repeat block here. So it's going to test for the evil tag. So repeat always active. Into the comparator, into the sticky piston redstone block, and then it's going to go, when it's activated, it's going to hit this impulse block here. So, and it's going to be /ability at tag equals evil may fly true. So this is the ability command. This only works if you've got education edition on. So chain conditional always active. So this is a regeneration effect. So tag equals evil regeneration 10 true. And when the circuit disengages, this is going to remove the May flag or the flying ability from you. Now, if you don't know how to get Education Edition running, just go into your world, edit your world. So this, I know you have to do this on Bedrock on the PS4, which is what I'm using. So just go into cheats, and then make sure that Education Edition is on, and then you can then use the ability command. It won't work unless that is not on. Right, so I just need an arena to test out all my powers. Perfect thing is this castle keep from an earlier video. So I've just put in a structure block and moved it to here. And I'm going to pack it full of enemies. Now it's a lot roomier in there than it looks. So we've got like a great hall, a feasting area. Got our basement below. Full of storage. So we've got sort of side balconies where we can place mobs that can shoot arrows. We've got another sort of meeting area in here. An outside balcony. The Lord's living area. We got various towers and turrets where we can place mobs. So we also need to look the part. So I'm going to craft a suit of armour to make me look like a villain. So you need to get yourself a smithing table. You get some armour trims and also some bits and pieces to decorate it. So I'm going to use the sentry armour trim and also the wild armour trim. And I'm going to get myself a set of armour. I'm going to use the netherite. It's the darkest colour there is, of course. You need black for a villain. Right, so I'm just going to craft myself my suit. I'm going to start with my helmet, and I'm going to use the wild armour trim there. Put my netherite helmet in, and I'm going to use redstone. Because black and red looks pretty cool, you've got to admit. There's my helmet. Right, for my chest piece, my netherite chest piece. I'm also going to use the wild armor trim and redstone. Now, for my legs and boots, I'm going to use the sentry armor trim. Also with the redstone. And finally with the boots. Right, so let's equip this. Now I'm looking the part. That's proper living territory. There we go. Badass. Right, so it's time to kick some ass. I'm going to put myself in survival, and now let's activate our powers and let's go. We use our super jump and super speed and our glide. Working nicely. Let's try our flying. It's pretty cool. Let's have a quick spy around and see what we've got. We've got a few iron golems around. We've got some piggly brutes and some zombies. Right, so let's get in. I'm going to test our super strength first. Ah, right, die. 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 Gosh. Ah! Right. Got to my sword pretty quickly there. That just pretty much one kills everything. Right. Right. I think I've cleared this room. Check the corners. Right. Let's go down. Use our force push. He's disappeared. I don't know where he's gone. I think he's gone outside the castle. Yeah, nothing in there. I think we better go see where this guy is. Oh, there's another two in the corner. We gotta get him. Summon! Push again. Yeah, they definitely got outside. Right, let's finish them off. Summon. And let's choke them. That's pretty satisfying, isn't it? I quite like that choke. I do like this sword as well. One shot. Die. Right. Oh, one more. Right. Let's see what else is in this castle. Let's go on to the next floor. Oh, where did you come from? There's nobody on the balconies. Ah, we got some pillagers. Right. Ow! Right, summon. Let's use summon. Oh, she's choking. Summon. I do like that summon, it's quite cool. As you see, it's quite effective. But I also like that push as well. I do not know what's going on there. We just got some frozen swords in time. Let's jump up here. Right, we've got enemies up here, and we've got iron golems in the towers. And I think we've got another floor full of enemies. I'm just going to use the big guns now. Let's see how much destruction we can cause. So let's shoot some missiles off here. Oh, he's shooting back. That one missed was a mo. That's making short work with those towers. Why aren't you dying, Iron Golem? Ah, they're definitely firing back. Right, let's use laser vision now. Let's torch the thing. I don't want anything left. Shooting from my eyes. Right, I don't want to be looking at there. Right, let's change the camera back. I don't want to destroy anything else unintentionally. There we go, that's properly destroying that castle now. If there's anything on that third floor, I think it's dead. Strangely enough, there's those iron golems are still alive, so I think we need to take them out as well. Already so much destruction. Oh, better watch my command blocks. Take them out. It's only going to be very careful with this laser vision. Right, die. And you as well. Why aren't you dying? There is a bit of a lag with this beam. It does take a while for you to catch up. Right, let's fire a few more missiles. Right, I think they've had enough. One more for good luck. Right, I'm just going to pick off any stragglers. Now, as you can see, those missiles and laser vision create a lot of destruction. There's one little piglin brew. I'll deal with him in a moment, but yeah, it's not one wall that's not undamaged. There's some floors there that were completely gone. Every floor is completely gone. Top is completely destroyed. yeah, I think it's only that little enemy left. Basement, strangely, is alright. Apart from 1 or 2 bits of damage. Oh, where did you come from? Yeah, all in all, these powers work great. So if you want to have a bit of evil, go ahead and... Right, let's pick these off. What are you looking at? And what the cool thing is now is if I want to just reset everything, I could just reload my structure back up, and I just repaired my castle. I can fill it all back with enemies and do the same again and cause havoc and destruction like any supervillain. Right, so that's it for this video. If you did like, please smash the like button and be kind and also subscribe. See you again in the next tutorial, and ciao for now.